So somebody, excuse me, somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it. So I'm taking on China. I'm taking on China on trade. And you know what? We're winning because we're the piggy bank. We're the one that all these countries, including the European Union, wants to rob and takes advantage of. European Union, $200 billion. China, more than $500 billion. Sorry. I was put here by people. I was put here by people to do a great job. And that's what I'm doing.
All right, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Chakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who teach well. Much peace and mercy to the hopeful elect. You brothers and you sisters wholeheartedly waiting upon the Lord Yahweh to send his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, to deliver us from this captivity. To you I say shalom. I got a video here. Trump says he is a chosen one. By endure these last days for. And I'm actually going to play the clip since it's a short clip in the beginning of the video. But yeah, he says he's the chosen one, right? And when he said it, he looked up to the heavens. He said, I am the chosen one. He said he's going to take on China. I'm going to take on China and we're winning. And another thing that stood out to me, what he said that America was the place that all these other nations want to rob, right? Which in actuality, all these places want to make money off of this place. That's how another reason, that is another way we can tell that this is the whore that sitteth upon the beast. Because when you go into Revelation the 17th chapter, Revelation the 18th chapter, it talks about how these nations not only will hate the whore, but they will also get rich off of her. You see? So this is just prophecy. Prophecy is speaking. Habakkuk the 2nd chapter, right? It's speaking, you know, and it's not lying. Recently, you know, the elder Apostle Tahar, he's been bringing out Isaiah 19. Isaiah 19 in verse 4. Yeah. Make sure. Look around for a second. Yeah, Isaiah 19. And you really can read this whole chapter, man, because this is all going into Egypt, which is modern day America, right? If you read Revelation 11 chapter, in the 8th verse, it says that Egypt, that this place is the great city. I'm gonna read it, man. I'm not gonna butcher it. Sometimes it comes, sometimes it don't. Revelation 11 and 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. Those dead bodies are talking about the Israelites. When you go to Ezekiel the 37th chapter, it tells you that those dry bones are the whole house of the nation of Israel. So these dead bodies is lying in the street of the great city. The great city is America, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. Why is it called Sodom? Look at the LGBT thing, the alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, etc., etc. Egypt is a place of bondage, hard work, slavery, or servitude. When you go to Exodus the 20th chapter, he said that I am the Lord thy power. I have delivered you from Egypt, from the house of bondage. So going back, Isaiah 19 and 4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. You know, we believe that this is Trump, and a fierce king shall rule over them, and saith the Lord of hosts. Is not this man moving cruelly? He said, oh well, guys, you're just gonna deal with it for now, you know, it'll be all over soon. But it's not. We're being affected. The whole nation over here in America is being affected. You know, the citizens are noticing the prices are increasing. You know, tension is rising between these different nations, all because of these tariffs. But he said what? He said, I am the chosen one. And it's a fact. The Lord sets up men on this earth to do his will. Let's go to 2 Samuel. Or is it 1 Samuel? 1 Samuel. It's been a minute. 1 Samuel chapter 2, I'm gonna start at verse 6. The Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich and bringeth low and lifteth up. So the Lord does everything. You know, you go to Isaiah, he talks about I kill and I make alive. You know, I wound, I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. And then you got other scriptures in Deuteronomy, talks about, you know, how he is, what's that? Deuteronomy 32 and 39, I think. Yeah, verse 7. Verse 8, he riseth up the poor out of the dust and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill. Yeah. To set them among princes, you see? To set them among princes and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them. Now, when you tie this up to Daniel, the 4th chapter, he said that he set up even the bases of men. So right now, you got Esau ruling. Esau, Edom is in the power seat. He's in he has inherited the throne of glory, right? He has received the whole world. Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. How then can let me read that. Job 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, wherein who is he? So he hid all of the true images. He done chipped off the noses, etc., etc. He done put the image of Cesare Borgia instead of our Lord and Savior Yahushua. So who is this wicked that's spoken of in Revelation? I keep wanting to say Revelation. In Job, the 9th chapter, is Edom, aka the so-called white man. Malachi 1 and 4. Right? Now, let's go back. Isaiah 19 and verse 4 again. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. Right? And a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts. So the Heavenly Father set this man up. He put him in this position. And he said at the end, he said, people put me here, yeah, you're a puppet. Right? And he used Nero in the reincarnation too. You know, Nero was hated, by the way. And is not Donald Trump hated by the masses? You can't make it up. The scriptures say there is no new thing under the sun. So the Lord has these prophecies playing out like this. We're getting so close to the end now that these scriptures are literally coming to life. They're literally starting to happen right in front of our eyes. So the fact that he said he was the chosen one, which means what? Means that okay, all these things are happening for a reason. The nations are angry. Let's grab something. Let's grab Jeremiah 51 in verse 7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. So right now, Babylon the Great is still spewing out all of the filth from that cup. Democracy, witchcraft, idolatry, etc. And one of the most important pieces of that wine or that cup is their monetary system, that wicked, evil monetary system. The fiat currency that's not backed by anything, no gold, no silver. It's literally just paper. So what it says, the nations are mad. When you look into the word mad, it goes into, I think, insane, very angry. Let's look this up. It's been a minute since I looked up this word mad. If I'm not mistaken, it means insane. Jeremiah 51 and 7. The word mad, halal, to shine, to praise. Okay, so it's the same word. It's to go down. It says to make a fool of, make into a fool, to act madly, act like a madman. So to act like a madman. Halal. Okay. H1984 for those who are listening and want that. Yep. So so the nations are angry, right? And what that anger is going to do is going to ultimately incite war. Because right now we're in an economic war. They're talking numbers, percentages. But what's going to happen when there is no middle ground, when there is no agreement? What's going to happen? Someone's going to say something and do something to piss somebody off. And what's going to happen? You know, scriptures say the least of the flock shall draw them out. Ultimately, America's going to get dragged into that war. That war is going to end up leading them to be destroyed. And these are all prophecies that's written in the scriptures. Old Testament and the New Testament. Just grab Revelation 17. And I'm going to start up and I'm going to jump down. Revelation 17:1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Now the great whore is America. The many waters is the peoples. You jump down to the 15th verse. And he said unto me, The waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. You see? So what does that mean? That they're sitting upon all of these people. They have control. It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So we just read Jeremiah, the 51st chapter, where it talks about that Babylon had been the golden cup in the Lord's hand. He made all of the nations drunk, and now they're mad. So what? It says that these kings have committed fornication with her. How did they commit fornication? They committed fornication by getting in bed with them. Meaning what? Their agreements are quoted. They took upon them their philosophies, the witchcraft, the idolatry, the homo agenda, and most importantly, their monetary system. So, you know, and then it talks about the beast with the 7 heads. Let's jump down. Jump down to verse 16, the point. And the 10 horns, which is Belgium, France, Greece, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Germany, Ireland and England, Portugal and Spain, and Denmark. Those are the 10 horns. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And one of those nations, I believe it's like France. You know, France is pissed right now, you know, at America. Yeah, that's how we want the Statue of Liberty back. You know, China, Korea, and Japan, they're coming to agreements to come up with some type of trade and currency to bypass America. You know, and it's not going to really work for them. You know, they'll do some bypassing. However, they make the bulk of their money from here. That's why when you jump, I'm going to read it a little after this, but that's why when you go to Revelation, the 18th chapter, they're going to be weeping and in sorrow because of how much money they were making off of this place. So imagine that. Imagine you making so much money. It's coming in. Y'all in bed together, and everything is going well and so great. And then out of nowhere, the hoe you've been hitting on for the last how many ever years, she go up in price. You know, triple, quadruple the price. And you're like, whoa, what's going on? I'm a regular. I've been coming here. Well, no, this is the new price. I feel like I've been taken advantage of. You know, get to talk. I feel like I deserve some respect. Get to talking madness. You're like, well, what the fuck? No, I'm not paying that price. Give me that. You know? So now they're at odds. They're not in bed with each other no more. Until terms are accepted, which most likely they'll come to terms to some degree, but only for prophecy's sake. Because the scriptures say When they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them. So right now it's heated. Everything is crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's how we know, it's not going to happen right now. The MOTB has to be established. It has to be made mandatory. But guess what? When those things start to happen, and then they say, oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's agree upon this. We'll do 25% more, whatever. Then you already know what's going to happen next. So it says, verse 17, for the Most High put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. So the Lord's going to put the spirit on these nations to destroy her. So it says what? That the Lord's will be fulfilled. You see? When you go to Ezekiel the 38th chapter and it goes into Gog and Magog, which is modern day Russia, he said, I will put hooks in thy jaw and turn thee back. Back to what? To that old USSR spirit, that Soviet Union spirit. You see? And if you didn't know that the North Atlantic Treaty Organization was created to fight against the USSR. They needed some type of protection against them Russians. So they created the NATO, the EU, and that formed the beast. The 7 heads and the 10 horns, spoken of in the 17th chapter. So let's jump to 18. All right. This is the judgment. Revelation 18:1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hole of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So that's the end result to America. That's the end result. When you go to Isaiah, I believe it's the 34th chapter, he says that the cormorant, the bittern, right, they're going to dwell in this place, right? The earth, let me real quick go there to Isaiah. Isaiah it's a little lengthy. Isaiah 34. You know what? I'm going to get it all. I'm going to get all the meat on this bone. Let's get Isaiah 34 and verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, and the world, and all the things to come forth, that come forth of it. Now, the Lord has the prophets out there prophesying on the highways and the byways and on the internet, because these nations need to hear their judgment too. And Jacob scattered amongst the other nations. But these nations they will get their judgment. Verse 2, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. So the Lord has an indignation against these heathen. You know, he said, I am very angry with the heathen who have forwarded the affliction. Verse 3, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcass, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. This is a demonstration or a visual of what the mushroom cloud looks like. You see, back in the ancient world, they didn't have mushroom cloud. They didn't have ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile. They didn't have those terminologies. So he's using the best terminology that he has at that time. So it says that the heavens shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. When the scroll rolls together, it forms what looks like a mushroom. It reads, and all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come upon Idumea. Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So Edom is cursed. That's why they got that skin tone. You know, they don't have melanin. The Lord said that he was going to put a mark upon Cain. That mark was passed down to to Esau, Edom. Rebecca and Isaac's son. So it says, the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of kidneys and rams. These are all the different people, the Ishmaelites, the Moabites, the Ammonites, all these different people that's over here in America. The Lord is likening unto you as the fat of rams, right? Precious, sacrificed. I can't think of the word. So it says, for the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Isaiah, the 66th chapter, talks about that the slain of the Lord shall be many, that he's going to come with his chariots like a whirlwind. Verse 7, and the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of the recompenses of the controversy of Zion. So this is all for the controversies of Zion. The Lord's going to destroy this place with a grand destruction, right, for his people, starting with the elect. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall be become burning pitch. So all the water is going to be dried up. The land's going to be dried up. It shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever, which is a long time. From generation unto generation it shall lie waste. This place will never be inhabited again. None shall pass through it forever and ever. Right? Ain't nobody gonna be traveling through the desert of America. Oh wow, this place used to be great. I remember the tall building. No, you're not gonna be traveling through this place. Verse 11, but the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it, the owl also and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. So the bittern, the cat, the cormorant, these are all desert creatures that strive and live in the desert. The Lord's going to put all those unclean desert creatures over here in America after it's destroyed. And the clean animals, the good, they're gonna, but it says what? That the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness, the Lord's gonna, the destruction is gonna be so bad, you're not gonna know where the mitten was, right? Michigan. You're not gonna know where Texas was, or where North Carolina, South Carolina was, right? Everything is gonna be messed up. Verse 12. I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna go back to Revelation 18, because that's the point. That's the destruction that is talking about in verse 2. Revelation 18:2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and it has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. We just read it. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. You see? We just talked about it. So these nations get fucking fat pockets off of America, man. Fat pockets. I'm talking money on money on money. And then what? They send it over their back to their hometown. That's why they love working here. They love making that money here, but they don't spend it here. They spend it over there with their people, with their families, with their own people. Verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plague. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to see a grand fathership is going to come. You're going to hear a voice coming out of that ship saying, Come out of her, my people. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. So you got to understand how much sin that is. How much sin that is for it to reach unto the heavens. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled to her double. So all of the slavery, all of the Jim Crow, even then the things before that. When they was slaughtering Gad, killing the buffalo, sick, what was it? Smallpox. All these different things these devils have did, man. We're going to give them double, and it's going to be righteously. You know? How much hath she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And that's the pride of America. Talking about I sit a queen, right? That's why in Isaiah the 47th chapter it said, come down, sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, there is no throne. The Lord is about to take away that power. He's going to take away the earth from you, right? The earth that was given into your hand is going to be taken out. You will no longer have power to deceive, to lie and steal and cheat, you know, because it was your blessing. Your blessing was the sword. The scriptures talk, what's that, Genesis? He said, and by thy sword shalt thou live. I think it's like 20, was it 25? No, 27. 27 and 40. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. See, so this is going to happen in one day, 1 hour, as it is written. When you go down more, I believe it's verse 12. Nope. It's not verse 12. Verse 17. Revelation 18. Kind of want to read some more of this. This is going to be a long one. Salaki, I'm just kind of going through spirit with it. Let me go back up. So verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord power who judgeth her, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. So they're gonna see it. Hey, America's Babylon the Great Destruction is gonna be televised, man. They're gonna be able to see it. It says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. In my old English, right? So it says, for in 1 hour. No, now when you grab this precept, let's grab a scripture. The Lord said that he's going to make a speedy riddance of this place. This is Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 18. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of Yahweh's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. So the Lord's gonna get rid of this place in 1 hour, man. You know, and it's because of the pride. It's because of their pride. It's because of the blood of the saints. You know, scriptures talk about the blood of the saints. Yep. So I made it there because I could keep going. I want to give all praises again to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Chagadash Shalom.